Russia's losses in the full-scale war against Ukraine exceeded 250,000 troops, the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine reported. Since February 24, 2022, the Ukrainian Defense Forces have destroyed almost 5,000 artillery systems, almost 7,500 vehicles, and more than 4,000 drones. In just one day on August 6, the Russian Federation lost 7 tanks and 12 armored combat vehicles, as well as hundreds of its military personnel.
Ворог продовжує зазнавати великих втрат.
The enemy continues to suffer heavy losses, which he tries to hide in every way. So, in the temporarily captured village of Chaplinka, Kherson region, 2 trucks with the bodies of Russian army servicemen arrived at the territory of the morgue from the Kherson direction. The bodies were buried in 2 locations. In total, over the past day, our soldiers eliminated 540 Russian invaders.
The Russian army suffers significant losses in Ukraine, primarily due to the effective work of Ukrainian defenders. But the incompetence of the Russian command also affects the number of killed and wounded, military experts say. Russian soldiers are often thrown into battle without support.
Что такое пехота сейчас без поддержки брони?
What is infantry now without armored vehicles support, without artillery support? This is meat. As a matter of fact, as you and I assumed a year ago, Russia, Putin, will throw into battle precisely manpower which will be unprepared, poorly trained, poorly equipped, and at the expense of the life of each soldier, he will prolong his existence in power. This is in general the tactics of the Red Army to which the Russian army has slipped today.
The death of their military, including those from elite units, is recognized by the Russians themselves. So the commander of the airborne forces of the Federation, Mikhail Teplinsky, said that at least 8,500 Russian paratroopers were wounded in Ukraine.
A rare official disclosure of Russian casualties, which Russian officials have largely sought to obscure as the war has progressed. BBC and opposition outlet Mediazona have confirmed that at least 1,800 airborne personnel were killed in action in Ukraine as of July 30, and a killed-to-wounded ratio of 1:3 is on average from the report of the Institute for the Study of War.
Teplinsky's statement was hastily cut out of television, and at the same time they concealed the information made public by the general about the new units of the airborne troops.
The annual celebrations of Russia's Airborne Forces Day on 2nd August 2023 have been overshadowed by an apparently unsanctioned disclosure of the scope of the casualties the elite force has suffered in Ukraine. However, extrapolating Teplinsky's figures endorses the assessment at least 50% of the 30,000 paratroopers who deployed to Ukraine in 2022 have been killed or wounded, from the message of the UK Ministry of Defense on Twitter.
In addition to hundreds of thousands of soldiers in 15 months, Russia has lost tens of thousands of pieces of equipment, parts destroyed or badly damaged, but there is also some that the Ukrainian army uses for its own purposes. The Russian Federation competes with Western countries that supply weapons to Ukraine, ironized Colonel of the Armed Forces of Ukraine Alexander Zaruba. According to him, thanks to the so-called Russian Land-Lease, Ukraine received more than 800 tons of captured equipment. Reported by Roman Smoler, Valeria Nekipelova, UATV News.